So in my previous video, we have read some part of the that mindset book, and this is the video of part two. So let's start. So the chapter name is "So What's New?" Is this such a novel idea? We have lot of sayings, the saying that stress the importance of risk and the power of persistence, such as nothing ventured, nothing gained. And if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. Or Rome wasn't built in a day. By the way, I was delighted to learn that the Italians have the same expression. What is truly amazing is that people with the fixed mindset would not agree. For them, it's nothing ventured, nothing lost. If at first you don't succeed, you probably don't have the ability. If Rome wasn't built in a day, maybe it wasn't meant to be. In other words, risk and effort are two things that might reveal your inadequacies and show that you were not up to the task. In fact, it's startling to see the degree to which people with the fixed mindset do not believe in putting in effort or getting help. What's also new is that people's idea about risk and effort grow out of their more basic mindset. It's not just that some people happen to recognize the value of challenging themselves and the importance of effort. Our research has shown that this comes directly from the growth mindset. When we teach people the growth mindset with its focus on development, these ideas about challenge effort follow. Similarly, it's not just that some people happen to dislike challenge and effort. When we temporarily put people in a fixed mindset with its focus on permanent traits, they quickly fear challenge and devalue effort. We often see books with the title like The 10 Secrets of World's Most Successful People crowding the shelves of bookstores. And these books may give many useful tips, but there are usually a list of unconnected pointers like take more risks or believe in yourself. While you are left admiring people who can do that, it's never clear how these things fit together or how you could ever become that way. So you are inspired for a few days, but basically the world's most successful people still have their secrets. Instead, as you begin to understand the fixed and growth mindsets, you will see exactly how one thing leads to another, how a belief that your qualities are carved in stones leads to a host of thoughts and actions, and how a belief that your qualities can be cultivated leads to a host of different thoughts and actions, taking you down an entirely different road. It's what we psychologists call experience. Not only have I seen this in my research when we teach people a new mindset, but I get letters all the time from people who have read my work. They recognize themselves. As I read your article, I literally found myself saying over and over again, "This is me, this is me." They see the connections. Your articles completely blew me away. I felt I had discovered the secret of the universe. They feel their mindsets reorienting. I can certainly report a kind of personal revolution happening in my own thinking, and this is an exciting feeling. And they can put this new thinking into practice for themselves and others. Your work has allowed me to transform my work with children and see education through a different lens. Or I just wanted to let you know that what an impact on a personal and practical level your outstanding research has had for hundreds of students. I get lots of these letters from coaches and business leaders too. Next chapter. Self insight: who has accurate views of their assets and limitations? Well, maybe the people with the growth mindset don't think they are Einstein or Beethoven, but aren't they more likely to have inflated views of their abilities and try for things they are not capable of? In fact, studies show that people are terrible at estimating their abilities. Recently, we set out to see who is most likely to do this. Sure, we found that people greatly misestimated their performance and their ability. But it was those with the fixed mindset who accounted for almost all the inaccuracy. The people with the growth mindset were amazingly accurate. When you think about it, this makes sense. If, like those with the growth mindset, you believe you can develop yourself, then you are open to accurate information about your current abilities, even if it's unflattering. What's more, if you are oriented towards learning as they are, you need accurate information about your current abilities in order to learn effectively. However, if everything is either good news or bad news about your precious traits, as it is with fixed mindset people, distortion almost inevitably enters the picture. Some outcomes are magnified, others are explained away, and before you know it, you don't know yourself at all. Howard Gardner, in his books Extraordinary Minds, concluded that exceptional individuals have a special talent for identifying their own strengths and weaknesses. It's interesting that those with the growth mindset seem to have that talent. What's in store? The other thing exceptional people seem to have is a special talent for converting life's setbacks into future successes. Creativity researchers concur. In a poll of 143 creativity researchers, there was wide agreement about the number one ingredient in creative achievement, and it was exactly the kind of perseverance and resilience produced by the growth mindset. You may be asked again, how can one belief lead to all this? The love of challenge, belief in ever resilience in the face of setbacks, and greater success? In the chapters that follow, you will see exactly how this happens, how the mindsets change what people strive for and what they see as success, how they change the definition, significance, and impact of failure, and how they change the deepest meaning of effort. You will see how these mindsets play out in school, in sports, in the workplace, and in relationships. You will see where they come from and how they can be changed. Chapter 2: Insight the Mindsets. When I was a young woman, I wanted a prince like mate, very handsome, very successful, a big cheese. I wanted a glamorous career, but nothing too hard or risky, and I wanted it all to come to me as validation of who I was. It would be many years before I was satisfied. I got a great guy, but he was a work in progress. I have a great career, but boy, is it a constant challenge? Nothing was easy. So why am I satisfied? I changed my mindset. I changed it because of my work. One day my doctoral student, Mary Bandura, and I were trying to understand why some students were so caught up in proving their abilities, while others could just let go and learn. Suddenly, we realized that there were two meanings to ability, not one: a fixed ability that needs to be proven, and a changeable ability that can be developed through learning. That's how the mindset were born. I knew instantly which one I had. I realized why I had always been so concerned about mistakes and failures. And I recognized for the first time that I had a choice. When you enter a mindset, you enter a new world. In one world, the world of fixed traits, success is about proving you're smart or talented, validating yourself. In the other, the world of changing qualities, It's about stretching yourself to learn something new, developing yourself. In one word, failure is about having a setback, getting a bad grade, losing a tournament, getting fired, getting rejected. It means you are not smart or talented. In the other world, failure is about not growing, not reaching for the things you value. It means you are not fulfilling your potential. In one word, effort is a bad thing. It like failure means you are not smart or talented. If you were, you wouldn't need effort. In the other world, effort is what makes you more smart and talented. You have a choice. Mindsets are just beliefs. They are powerful beliefs, but they are just something in your mind. And you can change your mind. As you read, think about where you would like to go and which mindset will take you there. Is success about learning or proving you are smart? Benjamin Barber, an eminent political theorist, once said, I don't divide the world into the weak and the strong, or the successes and the failures. I divide the world into the learners and non learners. What on earth would make someone a non learner? Everyone is born with an intense drive to learn. Infants stretch their skills daily, not just ordinary skills, but the most difficult tasks of a lifetime, like learning to walk and talk. They never decide it's too hard or not worth the effort. Babies don't worry about making mistakes or humiliating themselves. They walk, they fall, they get up. They just march forward. What could put an end to this exuberant learning? The fixed mindset. As soon as children become able to evaluate themselves, some of them become afraid of challenges. They become afraid of not being smart. I have studied thousands of people from preschools on, and it's breathtaking how many reject an opportunity to learn. We offered 4 years old a choice. They could redo an easy jigsaw puzzle, or they could try a harder one. Even at this tender age, children with the fixed mindset, the ones who believed in fixed rate, stuck with the safe one. Kids who are born smart don't do mistakes, they told us. Children with the growth mindset, the ones who believed you could get smarter, thought it was a strange choice. Why are you asking me this, lady? Why would anyone want to keep doing the same puzzle over and over? They choose one hard one after another. I am dying to figure them out, exclaimed one little girl. So children with the fixed mindset want to make sure they succeed. Smart people should always succeed. But for children with the growth mindset, success is about stretching themselves. It's about becoming smarter. One 7th grade girl summed it up. I think intelligence is something you have to work for. It isn't just given to you. Most kids, if they are not sure of an answer, will not raise their hand to answer the question. But what I usually do is raise my hand, because if I am wrong, then my mistakes will be corrected. Or I will raise my hand and say, how would this be solved? And I don't get this. Can you help me? Just by doing that, I am increasing my intelligence. Beyond puzzles. It's one thing to pass up a puzzle. It's another to pass up an opportunity that's important to your future, to see if this would happen. We took advantage of an unusual situation. At the University of Hong Kong, everything is in English. Classes are in English, textbooks are in English, and exams are in English. But some students who enter the university are not fluent in English, so it would make sense for them to do something about it in a hurry. As students arrived to register for their freshman years, we knew which ones were not skilled in English, and we asked them a key question: if the faculty offered a course for students who need to improve their English skills, Would you take it? We also measured their mindset. We did this by asking them how much they agreed with statement like this. You have a certain amount of intelligence and you can't really do much to change it. People who agree with this kind of statement lean toward a fixed mindset. Those who lean toward a growth mindset agree that you can always substantially change how intelligent you are. Later, we looked at who said yes to the English course. Students with the growth mindset said an yes, but those with the fixed mindset were not very interested. Believing that success is about learning, students with the growth mindset seized the chance. But those with the fixed mindset didn't want to expose their deficiencies. Instead, to feel smart in the short run, they were willing to put their college careers at risk. This is how the fixed mindset makes people into non-learners. Brain waves tell the story. You can even see the differences in people's brain waves. People with both mindsets came into our brainwave lab at Columbia. As they answered hard questions and got feedback, we were curious about when their brainwaves would show them to be interested and attentive. People with a fixed mindset were only interested when the feedback reflected on their ability. Their brainwaves showed them paying close attention when they were told whether their answers were right or wrong. But when they were presented with information that could help them learn, there was no sign of interest. Even when they had gotten an answer wrong, they were not interested in learning what the right answer was. Only people with growth mindset paid close attention to information that could stretch their knowledge. Only for them was learning a priority. What's your priority? If you had to choose, which would it be? Loads of success and validation or lots of challenge? It's not just an intellectual task that people have to make their choices. People also have to decide what kind of relationships they want. Ones that bolster their egos and ones that challenge them to grow. Which is your ideal mate? We put this question to young adults and here is what they told us. People with the fixed mindset said the ideal mate would put them on a pedestal, make them feel perfect, worship them. In other words, the perfect mate would enshrine their fixed qualities. My husband says that he used to feel this way and he wanted to be the god of a one person religion. Fortunately, he chucked this idea before he met me. People with the growth mindset hoped for a different kind of partner. They said their ideal mate was someone who could see their faults and help them to work on them, challenge them to become a better person, encourage them to learn new things. Certainly, they didn't want people who would pick on them or undermine their self-esteem, but they did want people who would foster their development. They didn't assume they were fully evolved, flawless beings who had nothing more to learn. Are you already thinking, what if two people with the different mindset get together? A growth mindset woman tells about her marriage to a fixed mindset man. I had barely gotten all the rice out of my hair when I began to realize I made a big mistake. Every time I said something like, why don't we try to go out for a little more? Or I'd like it if you consulted me before making decisions. He was devastated. Then instead of talking about the issue I raised, I'd have to spend literally an hour repairing the damage and making him feel good again. Plus, he would then run to the phone to call his mother, who always showered him with the constant adoration he seemed to need. We were both young and new at marriage. I just wanted to communicate. So the husband's idea of a successful relationship, uh, total uncritical acceptance, was not the wife's, and the wife's idea of a successful relationship confronting problems was not the husband's. One person's growth was the other person's nightmare. So I will end up today's reading. Uh, I will read the next part on the next video. So thanks for being with me, and thank you.